Employees at Waffle House are getting a pay raise. This comes after a year-long push from labor advocacy groups and days-long worker strikes.
Queen City News Chief Business Correspondent Taylor Young joining us now. Taylor, before we get into how much these workers will actually be making, what led up to these strikes?
Yeah, it really boils down to wages and safety. So right now, Waffle House workers can make as low as $2.09 before tips. And they also get $3.15 deducted from their shift every day for what is being called a meal credit, and that's whether or not they eat a meal during that shift or not. And workers also pointed out a rise in violence at their stores over the last couple of years and a lack of trained security. So over the last year, the Union of Southern Service Workers, which represents Waffle House employees, has held strikes at multiple restaurant locations. It has demanded higher pay, 24-hour security, and the end of that meal deduction. The group also went as far as asking the Department of Labor to review these deductions to see if they're lawful. Waffle House has more than 2,000 locations across the country, most of which are in the South. North Carolina is the third state with the most Waffle Houses, behind Georgia and Florida. There are just under 200 locations statewide, and of course thousands of employees that work here in North Carolina.
So Taylor, obviously they've been demanding these changes for quite some time now. What was the end result? What they end up getting?
Yeah, so right now it's really just talking about wages. So in a video call message to employees, the Waffle House CEO, Joe Rogers, said that he was going to raise that base pay to $3 an hour starting this month. And he also said that he would gradually increase that pay to at least $5.25 by 2026. So that's around 2 years from now, $5.25. And I just think it's interesting to point out that the minimum wage for service workers in North Carolina right now is $2.13. So Waffle House workers will be making more than that minimum wage. But I also think it's important to note that Waffle House workers don't get as high as tips as maybe other restaurants because the prices tend to be a lot lower.
Well, and speaking of prices, will customers see this increase?
So anytime you see a company pay their employees more, there is a good chance that that's going to fall on the customers to pay for. That's really was one of the major reasons behind why inflation has been so high over the last couple of years. So yeah, the CEO of Waffle House said that these wage increases will be paid for by more expensive menu items. So if you're going to Waffle House, expect those prices to be increasing specifically over the next 2 years, but those workers will be getting paid more per hour.
I'm still going to get my hash browns scattered, smothered in my waffles with peanut butter chips and chocolate in them.
Oh,
I don't care.
well, there you go.